Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Deisel Goalkeeping channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the Reusch Ortho-Tec Fit Control G3 Fusion Goalkeeper gloves. As you can see from these palms and these backhands, I have used these gloves for a very long time. I've gotten great wear out of them, and they have probably been the most durable gloves I have ever bought. These gloves do sport Reusch's iconic Ortho-Tec, which is really, Reusch's Ortho-Tec always starts off very rigid, especially the first few times when you put them on and when you train with them. They're definitely something that has to get used to, but ultimately, when you wear them in, they're certainly very comfortable and well worth the extra bulk that it may add to your hands during games and trainings. For a reference point, I've had these gloves for 2 years and I've worn them in trainings and in games for 2 years. And quite frankly, it's nearly seamless. Aside from wearing on the fingers, which is mostly from the Velcro when I put on the gloves, you can hardly tell that these gloves have been used for 2 seasons. The punching zone with the help of Ortho-Tec is probably one of the most seamless punching experiences that you'll have when playing goalkeeping. As opposed to the Adidas gloves that I reviewed a few videos ago, you can hardly feel the ball when you punch it. It feels like there's such an entrapment system in your glove that when you punch it, it feels like there's nothing there. The advanced shock shield system that is sported at the backhand of the glove is definitely something that I haven't appreciated as much as I probably should. It's because, once again, like many of the features in this Reusch glove, it is so seamless you can hardly tell it's there. As opposed to when I've worn gloves such as Adidas and Nike, when a very bad experience is when I was wearing Nike gloves and I actually broke my finger just from catching a plain shot like that. It really shows how much it'd be valued and appreciated, this shock shield system that Reusch has with this Ortho-Tec. As rigid as the glove is, the protection is unparalleled to many high-range gloves that any company produces. The texture on the backhand makes it so much more comfortable than a lot of gloves that I've experienced, especially with gloves such as Adidas gloves and HO soccer gloves. These gloves are one of the most comfortable that you'll get around to wearing. The pull tab at the bottom of the glove is another aspect that I've come to admire over my time using these gloves. Instead of having to do the pushing the glove against the other glove before a game to try to get the gloves into place, you can just pull it down, which is a characteristic that gloves have evolved to have. But when this glove first came out and when I first got it, it wasn't an aspect that was in a lot of goalkeeper gloves. So especially in the early days, this glove does have the more traditional single flap for the lock-in system. Something that, as I've mentioned in previous videos, is something that I do admire sincerely, because it really does give you more lock in your wrist than you would with most other gloves that have that continuous wraparound system that I personally find very tedious. As much as I can rave about this glove and tell you how great it is, I have to be realistic, and there are certain aspects of this glove that do let you down. The G3 Fusion Latex, which personally is one of the most durable regular matchday gloves that I've personally worn. The grip, however, is one of the most frustrating experiences that I've personally had with goalkeeper gloves. See, these gloves at its best can have some spectacular grip. With all of its functions, with all of its technology, it can be some of the most, but you have to constantly keep this latex wet, or else balls will just slip through your hands. I've had some of the most worst experiences on field wearing these gloves, just because the latex have gotten too dry, the grip just goes away. It's a complete nightmare to maintain. The way that I got around this was like a bucket of water and put it next to my goal. Not even a bottle of water, a bucket of water. And when the ball was down the other end of the field, I would just go douse my hands in the water to rejuvenate the latex. The inconsistency of the grip of this latex is probably the most detrimental factor of these gloves. And I'm saying by no means that I am a Reusch fanboy. Although I have experienced many Reusch gloves, they're not perfect gloves. There are no perfect gloves. But in so many aspects, Reusch is leading the forefront in technology. But this G3 Fusion has kind of slipped out the way. There are certain gloves of the Reusch line, which I will get to in future videos, that I absolutely adore, on the premise that I just The latex is so durable. I just abuse them with glue, I just abuse them with glove glue every game, before the game, at halftime. And I just continuously do that throughout the games. I don't even have to worry about that because the latex is so durable and so sustainable. I don't have to worry about that, and those gloves still last me seasons. But ultimately, after wearing into these gloves and having experienced them, having worn them in, they're truly one of the most comfortable gloves you'll get around to wearing. One of the most protective, as I've mentioned. This Ortho-Tec is fabulous. And the shock shield is seamless. Wearing these gloves, you will know what it feels like to take this type of technology for granted, because it is so seamless. The punching is so seamless. Everything is so seamless. You can barely begin to admire how great the glove truly is. Anyway guys, that is my review of the Reusch Fit Control Ortho-Tec Fusion 3G goalkeeper gloves. If I was to give it a rating out of 5 stars, it would definitely be a 4.5. I would nearly say these are one of the most perfect gloves to ever come out on the market. Sure, they may be a little bit of loose fitting and the grip of the latex can diminish quite quickly. If you keep them maintained, you don't have a problem. That's not necessarily a matter of the gloves that is detrimental, rather it is something that can be maintained, looked after. And ultimately, as I said at the beginning, I've had these gloves for 2 years. They barely look like I've worn them for a season. So I hope this review and talk about these gloves were helpful for you. Make sure to leave a like and comment in the description down below, and let me know what you would like to see next. Let me know anything I can improve on for these reviews. As I've said in my previous videos, these reviews aren't necessarily about all the tech specs and all the individual pieces of technology tearing the glove apart. It's more about my experience wearing the glove and what I've noticed, what you can really tell, what you can tell is good, what you can tell is bad. Because at the end of the day, it's not really important about all the different tech specs, it's about how they perform in game and how they affect you. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time.